Hey everybody, this is Chris at Cryptocurrent, and today I'm going to be going over a couple of altcoin projects. Some of them are higher cap, some of them are mid cap, some of them are low cap, but all of them were recommended for me to look over and review by my subscribers on the Telegram channel. So if you guys aren't already in the Telegram channel, I'm just going to link it down there below, and maybe in my next review video, you guys can suggest a certain token or cryptocurrency, and I'll look over it and give my honest opinions on it. So the first token we have here is called the Luna token, Terra Luna. So the way this token kind of works is that it's a little ecosystem, and within this ecosystem, they have two main tokens. They have a stable coin, and then they have the Luna token. And the way it works is that when there's more need for the stable token, so more people want to put their money into the stable token, then Luna is then sold and turned into UST, like minted into the stable coin. And what this does is it makes the value of the Luna token go up. And when there's too much UST on the market, then some UST gets converted into Luna, which brings the value of Luna down slightly. The idea is that over time, more and more people will want to use this stablecoin UST for their day-to-day transactions. So right now it's at $50 per token, and it is a rank 12 coin, right? So it's high up there. It has a pretty high valuation, which makes it, a little bit safer than some of the next coins we're going to be talking about. Here, if we're checking out the price in US dollars of all time, or we could at least just do year to date, we can see that it has had a phenomenal rally from down here, $6, $5 earlier in the year, and now it's currently, 10x that over at 50, just making some new all-time highs. So personally, I don't like to accumulate any coins when they're at their peaks. It's pretty simple, you should be buying coins when they're in accumulation phases, like this down here. Once they find a bottom and then trade within that bottom for a while, that's when you start to get in. And that's when you accumulate. And then, as it charters higher, then you can go ahead and sell off some positions. I'm not saying that it couldn't go higher in the future. I'm just saying I personally wouldn't be investing any money at these levels. But it very easily can go, 2x, 3x, 5x from here, the way the bull market's currently going. So all in all, pretty safe project compared to the other ones. They have a decent idea, and they're pretty established. So all in all, not too bad. Terra is a pretty decent project. And now moving on to the next token that I was asked to look over, and it is called DeFi Chain. So DeFi Chain is a pretty interesting, they have an interesting idea, right? So what they want to do is create a platform for decentralized finance, but on Bitcoin. So as we know, most decentralized finance platforms or projects are all built off of either Ethereum or Solana or Cardano or any other newer, faster blockchain, whereas DeFi or DeFi Chain, they want to build everything off of or with the Bitcoin blockchain. So I'm not too sure why they want to do it this way, because Bitcoin itself is a lot slower, outdated, and choppier than the other blockchains. Maybe because they want to use the fact that it's the biggest cryptocurrency and that would incentivize people. So I kind of get what they're coming from. They're pretty small market cap. They're very new, and there are some things that I would like to warn you guys about with DeFi Chain that I kind of spotted, and they were a little bit of a red flag. So if we come over here to the ecosystem and we scroll down a little bit, we can find out that the spokesperson is this guy named Dr. Julian Hosp. So I'm not sure if you guys have been in crypto for a while now, but in around 2017, 2016, like in that area, like when there was the first initial big bull run, this guy was the spokesperson and one of the core founders of a different project called 10x Pay. So 10x, this project pretty much flopped. It's worth very little now. They were trying to be a payment solution, something like that. I used to invest in them, but this Dr. Julian, he completely abandoned the project, or what seemed like it, and I guess moved on to do other things. And he only stuck around with the project for about a year or two. So that doesn't give me too much confidence that he's going to stick around with this project for very long. And there's a pretty good chance it flops
just like 10x does, just based off of his reputation in the space. I do like him a lot. He explains things nicely, but again, having left a project within only 2 years and then having that project kind of fail afterwards doesn't give me much hope for this one, especially when it's being built on, you know, a less than optimal blockchain. So that's it with DeFi. Now, if we take a look at the price action and stuff, though, it tells a slightly different story, a little more optimistic. We can see if we go year to day that it's been kind of in an accumulation zone, right? So it's been ranging between $2, and it's kind of found the base there at around $2, and $3, $4. So it's been trading within a range for a long time. And if we take a look at the all-time chart, we can see that it tells the same story. It's held up most of its value from this initial 2020 run up, and now it's just a matter of if it can get past this $4.60 mark, which if it can, then sky's the limit pretty much. So for a trade, possibly you could consider getting in at these lower, mid $2 ranges. I personally won't be trading it because I'm not too persuaded by the product itself. Next up, we have Sovereign. So Sovereign works not the same way that DeFi Chain works, but it works off of similar principles. So they want to use Bitcoin as the ground level for their platform to do trading and swapping and lending and all this stuff. So these guys want to be like a decentralized exchange that runs through Bitcoin. So I've read everything on their website, and there are a couple things I want to let you guys know about. So first off, the team of developers themselves seem to be pretty anonymous, right? I couldn't find too much about them in specific or any individual people. They have a Telegram, they have a GitHub, but people in particular, I can't really find them. And then what worries me about that is that a lot of projects with anonymous teams end up being rug pulls. And if not rug pulls, they just lack accountability, right? So if there's minimal accountability for a project if there's minimal accountability for a project, then odds are if we hit a bear market or a big correction, the project just kind of flops and disappears. Another thing I wanted to let you guys know about is that their descriptions of what they're trying to do is very wishy-washy, right? They're trying to uh, they're bringing attention to how the financial sector and all these things should be owned by the people and stuff. Just general crypto mindset. But when I kind of finished reading their whole article and stuff, I was still confused what they were trying to do or what their goals were. And what kind of summarizes that is over here. If we take a look at their summary, they tell us that Sovereign extends the Bitcoin system and will create a powerful network effect by enabling the nation of the future, the first Bitcoin nation, path to marrying technology to social institutions. So maybe I'm not smart enough, but I have no idea what that meant. It just sounded like a bunch of gibberish and keywords that were thrown in. After reading everything and taking my time to look through it, I'm still confused as to what they do. I understand that they have a platform that runs off of Bitcoin, but other than that, I don't understand too much about what their mission statement is, who the team is, and all that stuff. So for those reasons, I'm out. But its technicals don't look that bad, right? So over here, earlier in the year, it found a base, as I was kind of talking about earlier. It found a base and it was trading within a range, and it finally got a breakout. And then it had a correction, but it found a higher low, right? So the technicals aren't looking too bad. On top of that, Veracity here is another project that I actually kind of like. I like it a little more than the past two projects because I do see this whole esports streaming video entertainment space as being one that's only going to be growing in the future. So what Veracity does is it provides like a little product layer on top of esports websites or tournaments, streaming websites like Twitch and YouTube and all that, and it allows content creators to interact with their fans, fans to interact with the content creators, and then a way to tip them easily. And if you want to learn a lot more about it, you can go into it, but I'm just quickly breezing over these projects. So here you can see that the users would benefit if they held these tokens, so they could get maybe like exclusive content. They could maybe have chats with the content creators. here you can see, yeah, you could subscribe, entry fees, tournaments, whatever. They also have a significant amount of adoption already, so they've already sponsored some tournaments and stuff like that, which is always good to see. And then another big bonus for this project is that it's been around for a really long time. I remember it from all the way back in, I think, 2017. So it's been around for 4 years, so the odds of them continuing is, a lot higher as opposed to, newer projects. And over here, if we check out the technicals, we see that it's still relatively a small coin, right? It has a market cap of a third of a billion, and the chart is extremely bullish, right? They've just recently made new highs compared to the dollar, obviously, which is one metric to use. You should always also look at compared to Bitcoin, which it's doing the exact same thing. But just compared against the dollar, it's been doing pretty good. We've had a slight correction recently, and honestly, if I was looking to get into, or if I was looking to invest into this huge, esports, entertainment, live streaming sector of tech, then VRA would definitely be a contender for it. Next up, we have one token that I'd never heard of before, but I'm glad someone, brought my attention to it in the Telegram, and it's called GMX, right? So I've kind of read through all of it and somewhat understood it. So if you guys understand how Uniswap works or PancakeSwap or any of these decentralized exchanges, you can trade on spot there, right? So if you want to buy $100 worth of a token, then you need that $100 of a token, as opposed to BitMEX, Bitcoin futures, FEMEX, all these leverage trading platforms that are centralized where you can borrow money and end up buying more of the token without having as much of the capital. This does the exact same thing, but through DeFi, right? So you can go ahead and connect your wallet and then use up to 30% leverage and trade these more speculative tokens in a decentralized way without KYC and without there being this middleman kind of. So as of now, they don't have too many options for swapping. If you take a look here, they have, a handful of tokens you can swap or trade with leverage. Not too many, but they're obviously a newer project, so, you have to take that into consideration. There is some room for upside, but I'm pretty sure there's also a lot of competition in this decentralized leverage space. There's already a lot of projects that have come out, far earlier than GMX came out. GMX is really new. It's only been out for about a month or two, or 3 months, and there's an uphill battle for it for sure. Like it's gonna have to prove a lot for it to gain a good chunk of the market share in this space. So decent project. They could work on their user interface. Not too original. Nothing that grabs my eye too much from a fundamental perspective. And then from the technical perspective, it's really new, so there's not much you could say. It hasn't really found its base. It hasn't found the market really still hasn't decided what it should be valued at. So next up here we have FutureSwap, and this does something very similar to the previous token that I just spoke of, GMX. It's kind of like a platform to trade tokens with leverage in a decentralized way through FutureSwap. However, if we go and check out their application currently, it seems a little bit underdeveloped. There's not too many features, and I'm pretty sure I checked that out earlier, and the only swaps available are ETH to USDC. And I'm sure they're going to add more in the future, but for now, it's just, not a very useful product. I guess they still have a lot to show for. They need to come up with a lot more features for it to be attractive for, mass adoption or anything like that. So yeah, FutureSwap, not too bad. Incredibly small market cap, so if you got in on this and it did turn out to be big, huge upside potential. But as for the technicals, I think it's still trying to find its base, which maybe it's found back here over at $2-3, or in just the lower dollar range, but it's still incredibly volatile. It's only tradable on these really small exchanges, so not too much adoption, not too much volume. Risky play for sure. And next up we have Unmarshal, right? So Unmarshal, like FutureSwap or like GMX, it's a relatively small coin, but I do like their ideas. I like the concept. So what Unmarshal is trying to do is create this little like ecosystem / network, wherein they take information from other blockchains almost like the way Chainlink does as an oracle. So it takes information from ETH, from Solana, from Matic, from all these other blockchains, and then indexes this information and this data. And with this information and data, other people can come in to the Marshall ecosystem, find this nicely sorted out data, kind of like a library, and then create applications with it, create APIs with it, trading bots, widgets, all sorts of little programs, functions, things that are built off of the Unmarshal platform, all thanks to the fact that Unmarshal grabs a lot of information from the big blockchains and puts it in a digestible way for developers to use. So I like that a lot. Here's a visual, I'm pretty sure, of what Unmarshal does. So it takes information from all these major blockchains, indexes them, and then if anyone ever wants to build, let's say, like little engines for, let's say, if you want to solve your taxes or do your taxes really simply with crypto, it would take the information from these big blockchains, and then someone could develop a little program and it would, calculate your taxes or write out your taxes or do whatever with that in a really convenient, easy way. So a pretty cool idea. I don't know of too many other projects that are doing this at the moment. So for that reason, I give it a nice chance of catching someone's eye or catching a group of people's eyes in the future and it rising in price. For its technicals though, I also really like it. So it's an under the radar type cryptocurrency. It hasn't had a huge blow off since its initial ICO or IDO or whatever it was, and it seemed to have found a base. Right? So now if we see some decent volume come in, there's a pretty good chance that it can catch some wind and, do a nice 2, 3, 4x multiple since its market cap is so small. The next up coin I have for you guys is called Zignally or Zigcoin. So Zigcoin is the smallest coin I'm going to be covering today. It's got a market cap at around 7 million. And again, here on the technicals, if we just take a look at that, we can see that it's fine trying to find the base at the moment. Still pretty volatile, but it's finding its base. So what you can do with this platform here is it's kind of like an exchange, right? So you can go onto it and trade crypto. But the one, I guess, difference, the one gimmick it has that might be appealing to some people is that you can copy the trades of other people, right? So let's say that there's a professional trader or someone who's really good at trading crypto. You can go ahead and copy all of his strategies. So what the exchange will automatically do for you is it'll take his trades, and then whenever this person executes a trade, sells, sets a stop loss, buys, whatever, your account will automatically do the exact same thing as this person. It'll mirror his or her trades. So decent idea, but unfortunately there's already a lot of exchanges that are doing this. Most notably, I think Prime XBT has this, and they have a huge user base already compared to Zignally. So if these guys do want to get, their foot in the game, it's going to be an uphill battle, taking some of the market share from, bigger exchanges that are already offering this. However, it's possible, considering it's only a $7 million market cap, it could do 2, 3x or something like that, but it's not an original idea by any chance, and they don't have the first mover advantage. And from a technical point of view, it's not too bad, but the odds of this coin just kind of disappear, or the odds of the project just kind of disappearing and going into dust are pretty high, considering it's relatively new and relatively low cap. Anyways, those were just some of the tokens that you guys recommended I kind of breeze over. I hope you guys enjoyed it, learned a thing or two. Gave you as honest opinion as I could in this short video. And if you guys enjoyed it or whatever, thumbs up would be appreciated. And if you want your next, or if you have a coin that I want to look over, either shoot me a comment or simply, join the Telegram group and then message me through there. Anyways, thanks so much. Have a great day.